Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. It's a pretty nice day in Scotland. So I'm in the process of working on another video whereby we've got the whole front end off this car. We've got work going on in this car. I'm stealing bits off of this car, adding them to that car. It's all going pretty well. Hopefully that video will be out next week. But for this week's video, what I wanted to do was give you guys a run through of the reason why I'm choosing to break this car and save this one. Because I've had quite a lot of heat in the last couple of videos about the reason why I would bother breaking this car for its parts, when in reality, this car looks good at maybe 15 to 20 feet. But when you get closer, you very quickly realise how bad this car actually is. So what I thought I'd do today was a super quick video walking around this car, showing you everything that's wrong with it, which should explain the reason why I chose to fix the red one rather than fix up the blue one. So anyway, with that, let's get you off the tripod, start wandering around this car, and I'll show you the multiple reasons why it's getting broken for its parts. Right, so issue number one, and the smallest one of the lot of them. The front arches are rusting. There's a huge big dent and rust there. In fact, I think at some point in time this whole wing's been resprayed. The wheels have been refurbed, which is great, but they're black. I'd rather they were grey, but can't win them all. Passenger side door isn't too bad, but again, it would need resprayed because the lacquer's peeling off it. There's a great big chunk out of it there, chunk out of it there. It's rusting down the bottom. Just genuinely quite rough. Moving on to the rear quarter, rust. Again, just generally, paint's really bad, flaking everywhere, stone chips all over the place. This is rough as anything. And again, more stone chips that are rusting. Moving up to whatever pillar this is. Not sure you call it a pillar. In fact, you can already see part of the issue with it. But if I get this on the right angle, look at all the dents all the way along here. I mean, look at that. How does that even happen? So just this side of the car alone would take hours of work, fixing all those dents, respraying the whole side. And the bonnet, again, rough as anything, absolutely covered in dents. I was actually planning on saving this bonnet, as you saw in the last video, but actually, this bonnet's creased right the way along the front edge. You can also see it there as well, it's creased. So the bonnet's wrecked too. Then you move on to the roof, which you can see has got the same damage all over it. It's stone chipped to absolute death. Some of the dents are even poking out the way, which I'm not even sure how that's possible either. But I don't know whether the camera's going to catch it, but it is just absolutely covered in dents. So the roof would need fixed and fully resprayed as well. Moving on to the boot. The top spoiler, a bit of lacquer peel on it, all the way along. The actual spoiler itself, that's in good nick. That would just need a polish, I think. It's just a bit rough, so that's okay. The rear bumper is a different colour than the wing. And as you can see, this line right here, it's been masked off at some point because that's two different colours. So that's been masked, so it's probably been in a rear end bump at some point in time and had a new rear bumper fitted. Not sure what's going on with these, we'll just ignore that for just now. A few scratches in the boot, that's nothing. That would have machine polished out, I know that for a fact. The boot's actually in really good shape, and so is the rear bumper. A little bit of rust starting to form in the arches, but nothing uncommon for an Astra, or in fact a Vauxhall in general. And then this side of the car is very much in the same kind of condition as the passenger side. Scratched to death, rust starting to form down the bottom. Driver's side door's not as bad actually, to be fair. It doesn't look damaged or dented. Driver's side wing, rusty as anything. It's actually starting to go through the sill, if you can see it there. Discs and pads actually, the discs and pads and calipers are actually in good nick. So the chances are I'm going to steal these discs and pads and the calipers and fit them to the red one, because the red one's discs and pads are pretty rough. And the driver's side front wing, more damage. Again, that's fixable. All these things are fixable. It's not that they're not, it's just a lot of time and a lot of effort would need to go into doing it. And the same again on the driver's side, dents all the way down it. And again, I don't know how that happened. I don't know what happened to this car that damaged it quite horrendously. In man hours alone to fix all this cosmetic damage, it's a lot. I mean, genuinely, on a bad day, it could almost write the car off, I'm sure of it, in terms of value, because the whole car needs fixed and resprayed. So the other thing I didn't mention in the previous videos is this is actually already a category car. So it's already a category N damaged vehicle. I think it got damaged within about a year of it being brand spanking new registered on the road. I think it had a crash in 2014, 2015, something like that. And the damage to that was this whole side, and it's all been repaired. But at some point in time, this car has also been in another crash that I don't think was reported in the front end. And the reason why I say that is two reasons. First reason, every single bolt I've taken off of this whole front end, in fact, no, I'll make it three reasons, sorry, now that I think about it. So first reason, every single bolt on this front end was loose. Nowhere near to factory spec tight. Second thing that we noticed last night when we were taking the crash bar off was that it wasn't even spot welded like it should be from factory. It just had the 4 bolts holding it in on either side, no spot welds. So that's a pretty good telltale sign. And last but not least, this is how the top of the chassis leg's meant to look. In fact, it's not really a chassis leg, I don't really know what you call it. But this bit here, that's how it should look. There's also a random bolt in there that shouldn't be there that I only just noticed. But on this side, it's really badly creased there. And now they've either not noticed it when they've gone to repair it, or they have noticed it and that's a lot of work to replace. So they've just left it, which is not great. But when you're fixing a car on the cheap, I understand the reason why they did it. Now when I bought this car, I didn't know it had been front end damaged. I couldn't see any of that damage when I went to look at it. That's just what I found out after I bought it. But it makes no difference to me because I've got all the parts that I need. So we're good there. So the inside of the car, to be fair, like I said before, it's done 40,000 miles. So the seats are in really good nick. They need a bit of a clean, but they're in really good nick. Seat belts work, which is what I need. So the interior will be going up for sale at some point in time. I've got the steering wheel airbag that I need, so that's great. Dash obviously hasn't deployed, so that's good. But it has this big screen thing in it. And I don't know if you can see that, but all of this is loose. This is not fitted overly well. It doesn't work properly. I'll maybe try and see if I can make this work for the other car, but probably not. I'll probably just put it back to factory standard. So yeah, from an interior point of view, the car is really clean. It's in really, really good nick. Nothing really wrong with any of this. This is all good. But I need the dashboard. I need this airbag. So we'll steal all of this stuff. But if you know anybody wanting a VXR interior, let me know. So hopefully that should go a long way to explaining the reason why I'm breaking this car. I know a lot of you guys, like I say, were kind of annoyed at me for breaking what looked like a perfectly good car, and I understand that, I really do. But this is not a perfectly good VXR with 40,000 miles on it. It is really, really rough. Probably one of the roughest cars I've seen in quite a long time, actually. And would take literally hundreds of hours of my time to repair. And at the end of the day, although the red car looks rough just now, as you'll see in next week's video, I've already had the whole front end put on this car and all lined up, and it lines up absolutely perfectly. And this car, although it's done slightly less miles, I think it's 36,500 this car's done. This car has been really well looked after in its life. Paintwork's in really, really good nick. There's a couple of silly little age-related marks, but this thing's really, really clean. It's clearly spent most of its life in a garage, which is the reason why I'm choosing to repair this car and get rid of that one. So anyway, with that, that's going to be the end of this week's episode, guys and girls. Super quick one. It's more just an update. I wanted to get some content out for you guys. And like I say, shed some light on why that one's getting broken for its parts. Because I know a lot of people are annoyed with me, justifiably so, but hopefully now that you've seen how badly damaged the blue car actually is, you'll understand the reason why I'm choosing to save the red one. And as always, I hope you're keeping well and I hope you're keeping safe. And I'll see you next week. Peace.